Donald Trump continues to support Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. And even though Democrats in the Senate Judiciary Committee are calling for the FBI to do an investigation to either confirm or find some information about whether or not these allegations against Kavanaugh are true, Trump says that it's unlikely that the FBI will conduct the investigation. Now, part of the reason why is the FBI can't do that unless the White House signs off on it. And Trump has been clear in saying that he's not gonna sign off on it. Now, before we get to that though, I do want to show you the messaging from Trump that will be repeated over and over again. And it is to attack Democrats rather than address the real allegations lodged against Brett Kavanaugh. Take a look.
Judge Kavanaugh is one of the finest people that I've ever known. Never had even a little blemish on his record. I wish the Democrats could have done this a lot sooner because they had this information for many months and they shouldn't have waited till literally the last days. They should have done it a lot sooner. But with all of that being said, so you would have thought certainly that she would have brought it up at the meeting, not wait till everything's finished and then have to start a process all over again. But with all of it being said, but again, this is something that should have been brought up long before this. They had the information in July, as I understand it. It's very, it's very unfortunate they didn't mention it sooner. But with all of that being said, again, this should have been brought up a long time ago. Thank you.
Okay.
No, we didn't repeat any of that. He does the endless repetition by himself. And he keeps saying, with all that being said, that's why JR left that in there, because he's supposed to get to the actual point, but he can't help himself. And in fact, when asked about attacking the Democrats another time, he's like, well, I'm not gonna do that today. I might do it in a couple of days. Okay, well, what difference does it make then? And besides which, you couldn't help yourself. And a good and fair question that we've been asking for a couple of days now is, you're claiming, okay, that's what some Democrats knew. How about the Republicans?
Right.
How did they have that letter ready of 65 women that knew Kavanaugh back when he was in high school? How'd they have that done in 24 hours? Seems like they knew too. Mitch McConnell, why did he warn you not to appoint Kavanaugh in the first place? As Anna pointed out days ago, did Mitch McConnell know? So those are good and important questions. Democrats, you should be asking those questions too.
Now, in terms of the FBI getting involved, Senate Democrats have been clear in that they're not calling for a criminal investigation. They are calling for the type of investigation by the FBI that was conducted when Anita Hill came forward with her allegations against Clarence Thomas. To, if Kavanaugh didn't do it, maybe there's a way to clear his name. They just want this to be investigated and they want the FBI involved. And Trump doesn't seem willing to get the FBI involved. Now remember, he doesn't seem to have much love for the FBI in the first place. But the Justice Department released an interesting statement. They said the allegation does not involve any potential federal crime. The FBI's role in such matters is to provide information for the use of the decision makers. Okay, so the DOJ acknowledges that the investigation would be for information, so people can use that information to either confirm or vote against Kavanaugh, but they don't want to do that either. And then Trump addressed this as well during his press conference, and here's what he had to say.
We have time available. We will delay the process until it's finished out. I guess we've invited everybody. I can tell you this, that Judge Kavanaugh is anxious to do it. I don't know about the other party, but Judge Kavanaugh is very anxious to do it. And a delay is certainly acceptable. I don't think the FBI really should be involved because they don't want to be involved. If they wanted to be, I would certainly do that. But as you know, they say this is not really their thing.
Really? I haven't seen anything from the FBI indicating that they don't want to be involved in this. The only thing I have seen from the FBI is a statement indicating that they can't do the investigation unless the White House sanctions it.
Well, I mean, this is a man who thinks cooperating with federal law enforcement maybe should be outlawed. So it's unsurprising that he doesn't want federal law enforcement involved in actually gathering evidence. So of course the FBI said no such thing. And it's not that complicated. It's true, it's not a federal crime. The FBI is not investigating to arrest Kavanaugh or anything. It might be a state crime, but not a federal one. But the FBI does background checks. This is the most important background check there is. This is exactly what they did, as Anna pointed out, with Anita Hill and Clarence Thomas. So why wouldn't you just apply the same standard? Or are you afraid what they would find?
And then one final thing is Mark Judge, who was allegedly the other person in the room when this attack happened, says that he does not want to testify before the Senate, specifically the Senate Judiciary Committee. Both Dr. Ford and Kavanaugh have agreed to testify. However, Mark Judge says, no, I did not ask to be involved in this matter, nor did anyone ask me to be involved. The only reason why I am involved is because Dr. Christine Blasey Ford remembered me as the other person in the room. He also says, in fact, I have no memory of this alleged incident. Brett Kavanaugh and I were friends in high school, but I do not recall the party described in Ford's letter. So his defense so far has been, I don't remember, I have no recollection. I think that's an interesting way of handling it. There hasn't really been a flat out denial of what's been alleged.
There was yesterday. So it went like this. At first he said, I have no recollection. Then he said, no, it's absolutely nuts.
Oh, he called it nuts, that's
yeah,
right.
But today it's interesting that he went back to, I don't recall. And remember, he's written books about his struggle with alcoholism, etc. That might be one reason why he doesn't recall, or it might be that he's like, what if they get other evidence? So it's easy for me to say I don't recall. I was binge drinking at the time, right? So of all people, I think Megyn Kelly made an interesting point yesterday when she said, why would Dr. Ford put Mike Judge, a friend of Kavanaugh, in the room if she made it up? If you're gonna make up a story, you wouldn't put a corroborating witness for him in the same room. And Dr. Ford's a 51-year-old professor. She's not, and again, she'd have had to make it up in 2012 when she talked about it earlier. So none of that adds up. One more thing, at least Judge was sophisticated enough to say, I don't remember if I was at a party like that. Orrin Hatch screwed up while defending Kavanaugh and recently said, Kavanaugh told me in a meeting that he wasn't at that party. Wait a minute, she never said which party. She never said which date. So then people were like, what do you mean? This was Kavanaugh, does Kavanaugh know the party that she's referring to? And then Orrin Hatch, the spokespeople, had to be like, no, Kavanaugh didn't say that to us. He said he doesn't remember being at a party like that. What does a party like that even mean, by the way? You don't recall being at any party where you were drunk, where people were going swimming when you were 17 years old in the summer? Okay, so that little backpedal I thought was a little telling too. And again, these guys seem to have known for a long time that this might become an issue. How would they know it was going to become an issue if they never heard from her? That means they might have heard from him. And if they heard from him, then she's clearly not making it up. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.